Hello, folks. Welcome to the channel. I'm Cy, and we have Darnisha over here to discuss this week's in entertainment and culture. And we're going to start off with Michelle Obama, folks. The first lady talked about why she didn't attend the funeral for Jimmy Carter. She said she was on an extended vacation to Hawaii and couldn't change anything. Come on now, folks. What is going on with Michelle Obama? When she was in office, she carried herself very well. She understood duty. She understood boundaries. But ever since she's been out of office, we get questions about her and Barack's marriage. Is they getting a divorce? Okay. We all know that skipping your responsibilities, no matter what, she should have attended that funeral. You know she should have attended that funeral. It's about duty. And how you gonna be the only black first lady that wasn't there?
Not supporting your black man,
Okay.
lady.
She should have been there. I mean, I liked you when you was in office. You carried yourself very well. But this is about leadership. This is about strength. No matter how you feel about the orange man, you got to let that go. Because I know this wasn't about Jimmy Carter because he's never did anything to you. So this is because you didn't want to sit next to the orange man. But you got it, man. You got duty, lady. And even your husband was the first black president. And you treating him like a Willie down the street, Willie Poo-Poo down the street. Talking about I was with him when he didn't have nothing. How you doing the only black president half we've ever had? You understand what I'm saying, Darnisha?
I do, Si. Dignity and grace she should have led with. But not only that, your dutiful obligation. And like you said, here it is, you are a African American woman who is supporting her African American partially husband, right? She should have showed up. Jimmy Carter didn't do anything to her. 47 might have said something about her, but what's the best way to get somebody's revenge? Sit right next to them, get with them, rub your brown skin on that orange Cheeto and keep it moving. I'm just saying, you kill weakness with kindness, and you just continue on. You be the bigger person, because guess what? You've got a whole host of people looking at you and modeling you. So again, you put your personal feelings aside, you go and you support. That's what you do. That is the dignity and grace that you upheld and need to uphold, I should say, and do. That was just ridiculous that she did not go.
I
Ridiculous.
know.
And then come on, vacation to Hawaii. I mean, you've been to Martha's Vineyard, to Bart's, and everywhere else, and you tell me all you came up with was the best excuse that you wanted to go to, Maui or Oahu. Come on.
Michelle Obama. She got a podcast with her brother Craig. And I get it. She want to give all her insights, her experience, and advice to women and stuff like that. But you have to understand something, sister. This is bigger than you. This is about the community. You was in the highest position there is as any black woman. And I'm not saying you got to cater to those people. To me, what I've never liked, you should be raising people in that position. Okay? You're not Darnisha
Yes,
over here
yes.
just working a regular job. Okay.
But like you said, you should be raising people. Like what you should be campaigning and lobbying for people, like you were doing when you were the first lady, right? You gave great testimonies. You gave great support. And then where were you on this day that this dignified man passed away in Hawaii? Come on.
Exactly. And then you brought that up on your podcast. A couple weeks ago, like I was saying, you said negative stuff about your husband. Do you still like the man? Her
I
brother
hope.
asked her
Well, I mean,
her brother asked her a question about they was talking about getting with men. And I get it, Michelle. I think you're trying to help young sisters and show that you got to get with a man and work with a man even when he don't have anything. But that's not where a lot of young women minds are. They waiting for men at the finish line. And I don't know why, because when you get a man that's already at the finish line, he not gonna have certain feelings for you if you didn't help him build. Yeah, he'll still get with you, but he's not gonna have the same connection to you if you didn't help him build. You just a trophy to him. Is that what you want? And I get it, you want to get someone on your level. But back to you, Michelle. If this is your agenda to try to show young women that they need to get with men and it's okay to get with a man when he doesn't have anything, long as he's working hard, long as he's positive, I get it. But man, you were the first lady. You don't need to be doing all this oversharing. We don't need to know anything about your personal life. I don't know what the hell's going on with George Bush and his wife. Yeah, I get it, Michelle. A lot of young women look up to you, so you got powerful words. You had Tracy Ellis on there talking about how she only date young men, which is nothing wrong with that. This is about understanding your position. Now, you're not a former first lady, but you own the podcast with her. How the hell we got these two powerful women on this stage talking about dating young men? Keep your personal life. I've never liked when these black celebrities talk about their personal life. I was never a fan of Halle Berry. And yes, she's beautiful. But once I started knowing about her personal business, I wasn't a fan of her. I was a fan of Janet Jackson. I mean, this woman went and got married, and we didn't know she was married until she got a divorce.
Period.
And Michelle and her podcast, she is a beacon for many people, especially a lot of young sisters. And I just wish she was trying to elevate young sisters. You're not, I know you from the south side of Chicago, but you was the first lady. You're not Shanae from the block. You went to Harvard. Harvard. And I'm not saying you don't show your intellect, because you do. You're a very smart woman. You're a very smart person. Come on, Michelle, let's raise the mind. And I've always done this. See, when I was young, but let me tell you something that happened one time. One of my uncles was getting out of prison. And then another one, his brother, another of my uncles, they wanted to throw him a party. I was 16.
Party. Ooh,
I was 16,
speak on it.
I was 16, 17 years old, exactly. They wanted to throw him a party for getting out of prison. I did not let that happen. I didn't care what the fuck they said. And one good thing that happened was my grandma, Mama Sue, was on my side. She was like, hey, and this is her sons. She was like, oh yeah, no. Junior said, that's not a good idea. That's not a good look. That's not a good message to send to the young black men in our family. So I didn't have it. I didn't try to lower myself to come down to their level just to feel comfortable around them. No, if they want to say, oh, he think he better than us, so what? I'm not thinking about you. I'm thinking about all my little other nephews and stuff. And this is what I want these sisters and all black people that's in the spotlight to understand. You're bigger than whatever they have you do. You are a powerful person. You know what I mean, Darnisha?
But you have to ask yourself though, Cy, how powerful are you without the people, without somebody pushing your agenda, without someone backing you, right? And again, we go back to Felicia Rashad, right? You stand for something or you'll fall for anything, right? So I can applaud her for saying, you know what? No, this maybe it didn't come out correctly, and maybe the end result is not getting a man, but I don't know. All these people out here are women out here, or men out here trying to get a man and or a woman, eye candy or what have you. But she only spoke her truth. She spoke her truth in saying, you know what? You don't need to show everything. And just like, your grandmama might say, your auntie might say, baby, leave them something for them to be thinking about or desiring. You putting everything out on the plate.
And then Michelle Obama's podcast, she talking about all those things. She had Marlon Wayans on there talking about him raising a transgender son or trans child. And I don't want to pick on these people, but I'm getting tired of people putting this agenda forward into the forefront. And I have nothing against them. Kate Jenner, Bruce, whatever. I don't have nothing against them. But I'm tired of this being something that's pushed on the youth.
But not only that, you just have to really look at the agenda in which they're pushing again, and where it's being pushed, right? I mean, I have not seen nearly as many people that don't look like you and I in the forefront of pushing different agendas. At the end of the day, again, what you do in behind your private doors in your private life is just that. I can't show up to an interview, right, and say that I am blonde hair, blue eyed, and Caucasian, because that's not me. You're going to see me first. However, you're not going to see what I may or may not do in the kitchen, the bedroom, or the bathroom per se, right? unless I tell you. So again, you don't need to tell everything. You don't need to tell everything.
These black celebrities, I wish they would understand, man, you guys are bigger than who you are. You represent
Well,
more.
that's true.
And it's not
More
because,
and the position in which they're in.
yeah, and I'm not trying to put more weight or more burdens on you guys. That's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to say is because this power structure, the controllers, because of the controllers, the way they treat us and the way they do our image, we need you guys to kind of balance that out. But you guys have never done that. You let the controllers control you. So let's stop it with all this madness.